anything else anyway.
Yeah. Well, mate, I've had a chance to take a listen to the album, and I've got to say, congratulations. It's an absolutely amazing album. So I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about the writing process with this album.
Yeah, no, thanks for listening to it, and I'm glad you like it. With this record, it was, I think, one of the main things that people are hearing as opposed to the other ones is that there was a lot of attention to detail in terms of the lyrics and the melodies. I really put a lot of pressure on myself. I felt a lot of pressure, first of all, from everyone around me, on the team and the fans, but also from myself to make a record that was better than good. The last record prior to this one, we toured it for 3 years, and it brought us all over the world, and we're incredibly thankful for that. But as a result of that, gaining that momentum and that fan base internationally, I think really that created a lot of pressure in order to make something that was not only better than the last record, but just really great as a whole, and just something that stood the test of time and got into people's ears and really, made an impact. So I left no stone overturned in terms of the writing and the potential for different ideas and lyrics and melodies and things like that, and that resulted in a lot of stress and obsession over making something great, and ultimately led to very little sleep. I think I was getting about 3 hours a night for about 3 months, and I just needed it to be great, man, and I wanted to give everybody, and I wanted to give ourselves a fair shake at really making an impact and doing something great, like I was saying. And, a lot of people just write some songs, throw them together, and go, there's your record, and go out on the road, and that's good enough. But, it just wasn't going to be the case for us, because we wanted to make something that was really a cut above, and I feel like we did ourselves that justice and put out a great record.
Yeah, you said then that you put your pressure on yourself, but did you feel pressure also from, outside, from fans? Because the last album did do so well, did you feel pressure at all to hurry up and do another album as well?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think it was all part of the, part and parcel to the final product that, we're hearing is, I like to pay attention to what's working, in terms of our songs and our live show and things like that. So, as a result of that, I think, paying attention to what's working, to gaining fans, to gaining momentum, you are going to feel that pressure from your fan base, to do something great, because you're in a way, you're winning these people over, and once you've got them, and if you don't deliver, I don't like the idea of letting them down. But ultimately, I wrote an honest record, man. I wrote a really straight ahead, and truthful record, full of conviction, because all this stuff that I sing about and talk about is all true, and I've lived it, and it's all real to us as people and the kind of guys that we are in this band. So, we're not chasing trends. We're not writing songs that are, the flavor of the week. We just do this because this is who we are, and we're lucky enough to have enough people that believe in us to give us a job. And, like you say, you can feel pressure as a result of that. And you can do two things. You can buckle and let that fear take you, or you can let it push you straight on ahead as fast as it can go. And that's just the kind of guy that I am. I was never going to let it slow me down. I was going to let it make me get ahead of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to ask, what kind of things inspire you to write? Is it life itself, or, what kind of things inspire you to actually sit down and write lyrics?
I'm not the kind of person that delves much into fantasy. I prefer to deal with everyday things that I know firsthand, that I've, been through, that I can relate to, that I have lived through. So, for me, it's just about telling my story, Yeah. I like that, because I like it I like personally that when I'm watching bands or I'm listening to bands, when I'm listening to somebody sing song lyrics that they wrote, and I can tell they mean every word of it to their core being, that conviction, I feel that there's something special that lies in that, and people aren't stupid, man. And if you're out there, talking about doing this or doing that, and you've never done it, or you aren't at least believing the feeling of the energy the music gives you, people can see through that. So, I've just always made it a high priority to really believe, the things you're singing about. And, if you're walking the walk, you better talk, if you're talking the talk, you can walk the walk, that whole thing. So that's just kind of, my gig, man, is I write about my own experience in my own life.
Yep. And there's a real kind of freshness and rawness on this album as well. There's times when you would swear that you were listening to you guys playing live. Tell us a little bit about the recording process. Was that something that you wanted to try and get with this album, that kind of live feel?
Yeah, absolutely. We track everything in the room together as a band, and the thing about making a record, but also making, more specifically, a rock record, like a real deal rock record or a punk record or hardcore, anything that's got that, some grit on it. These bands, it's always been a goal to sort of capture the essence of what the live show feels like, and that's basically energy. It's the energy that you get playing in a room with other people. It's very hard and almost impossible, I think, to cut and paste and paint by numbers, where you put the drums down and then put the bass down and then the guitars after. I mean, look, that might work for some metal outfits, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but when you're talking about music with just full blown energy, that's just all the way gone, and foot to the floor, and hand on the wheel, that needs to be captured in some way in a live setting. So for us, we get in a room, the four of us, and we just bang out the songs until we got it. Sometimes we get it in 3 takes, sometimes it takes more than that, but it's all about capturing the energy. Yeah. You gotta get that the core. I'm not saying like the whole record is live, because it isn't, but every song was tracked live, and every take of every song has those live takes in it. So there are, for sure, I punched additional guitars after the live stuff and then sang stuff afterwards, but every single song, that those bed tracks, those original tracks, we don't do scratch tracks and then get rid of the guitars after and only keep the drums. That's not our style. We're keeping everything, and then we're going and adding to it after, because again, it's about keeping that energy consistent to what it was like in the moment and how it translates to tape.
Definitely, yeah. And talking of live music, you were one of the first bands to actually do a quarantine concert for those that were in lockdown. Tell us a little bit about what that was like to put together, and how the whole lockdown thing has affected you guys with releasing the album as well.
Well, 2 parts to the thing. We actually had to postpone it, so it's actually happening this Saturday.
Yep.
So that's great. We were dealing with something that none of us ever could see coming at all, and it's. Yeah, what are you going to do? You're gonna sit down and do nothing, or are you going to adapt? Well, we have the means to make something really cool for everybody at home that wasn't able to come to the rock show, so we decided to bring the rock show to them. And not knocking anybody out there that's been doing these live streams with them and an acoustic guitar and an iPhone. That's cool for bringing music to people in this time, because we all need it. But for us, we, in typical Wild fashion, we of course wanted to take it 10 steps farther and do full-scale production, full amps, full guitars, multi-camera, soundboard recording. It's it's a major production. It's a big scale, and that's how we like to do things, because we just really, again, we believe in this album so much, we wanted to give it an impact. So yeah, everybody went into the Facebook, our Facebook this Saturday. If you get it in the morning, I believe it'll be in Australia by that time when it airs. If you want to get up early, what better way to start your day? If not, come back around and watch it when it's posted as a video, because it's going to be really cool, man. We're we're set up to make something really interesting here. And, it's not the same as being at a show, but this is the best that we can do for now. So, just sit back and escape this bullshit we're all going through and, enjoy some entertainment.
Definitely. And is there almost an advantage there for you guys? Because you get to do what's virtually an album launch show, but it gets to go worldwide rather than just being in one city. Is that almost an advantage for you guys to get your music out there to a much wider audience?
No, you know what? I don't know. It's still, like I said, it's not the same as playing live.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, and I'm really thankful that there are people from all over the world that want to tune in and enjoy it, and be a part of it. And believe me, we're very, very thankful for that. But I think everybody out there who's listening to this right now would even agree that it's not the same as being at a show. But again, this them's the breaks, man. This is the cards we're dealt at the moment. So I would rather do this than do nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll give everybody a good show and it'll be a good time.
Yeah. And how are you spending the lockdown? Because I've got this theory that in 12 months' time, we're going to have some absolutely amazing albums get released because you've got all these creative people cooped up in their homes at the moment. They're going to be writing great music, right?
Yeah, I hope so, man. You know what? For myself, I just kind of went through so much of just having written and recorded the record that we've just put out. So I'm not quite, my mind's not set into writing mode at the moment, but, look, in this day, what we're currently living in right now, I'm not feeling very inspired at the moment to write, but I know it won't be before long before I have a guitar in my hands and I'm all the ideas are flying out of me because it's just kind of my thing. I like to have guitars around me, and I like to have them around me when I am feeling any type of way, happy, sad, agitated, frustrated, whatever. I just go to the guitar because it calms me down. So, yeah, man, we'll have to see. It's gonna be interesting to see how things develop over time, but as long as everybody's, trying to just stay sane, because that's one of my biggest things is I'm going a little bit stir crazy not being able to be on the road at the moment. But you know what, we're all going through it together, and the more we keep that same mentality up, is having the consciousness of being that we're all going through this together, that's what's going to get us out of this quicker.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. They've actually set up a portable radio studio in my house at the moment, so all of my shows are coming from our house, which kind of feels a little bit weird, so I'm starting to get a little bit of cabin fever as well. And you talked about your live show. That's something that we would love to see here in Australia. Is there any chance when everything goes back to normal that you guys might head down to Australia at some time for a tour?
Absolutely. We've been... there's something about Canadians and Aussies. We've always got on quite well, and that's probably the reason why we're really close with the guys in Rose Tattoo. Been friends with the guys in Airborne for years, and really tight with the guys in the Lazies for a number of years as well. There's so many great Australian bands that we love. The Living End as well. We don't know those guys, but we're big fans of their band, and there's tons of bands from Oz that we just love, and we feel that we play the kind of rock and roll that, the people in Australia would really, get down on. So
definitely,
when this is all said and done, we would absolutely love to come to Australia to tour there. So if there's any good rock bands out there in Australia that want to make it happen, get in touch with us, because we'd love to do some dates with you.
Definitely. I think an Airborne and the Wild show together would be absolutely fantastic myself. So yeah, I'd love to see that. I know we are running out of time very, very quickly. So before I go, just like to ask, is there anything that you would like to say to your Aussie fans out there before they go out and grab a copy of this new album?
You know what, man? Anybody who's already been listening to the record, thank you very much for listening, and we hope you enjoy it. Do us a favor. Keep listening to it. Tell your friends about it. Just keep spreading the word, and you keep listening to that music, this rock and roll music, and supporting the bands that you love by listening to that music, and rock and roll will never die. It's as simple as that. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll let you go, but yeah, hopefully we do get to see you in Australia sometime soon.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks for the time today. Hope to see you next year, hopefully sometime.
Definitely. All right, mate. You have a great night and stay safe.
Cheers, man.
Yeah. All right, bye.